Welcome back. Well, a pair of Illinois college professors caught gushing over their woke curriculum before a Zoom meeting for their local school board. Watch this.
I mean, it's all social justice all day, every day.
Yeah, I always flip out the kids that take my master's class on fiscal policy and public budgets when the first 3 or 4 classes are devoted to philosophy of social justice. They're like, oh man, Professor Martiri, this is a really weird way to teach a budget.
Just so you guys know, you're on the mic in the auditorium.
Okay.
We're cool with that.
Oh, they're cool with it. Those professors going on to say that social justice is a part of everything they teach. But our next guest says its meaning has been shifted to fit a radical worldview. Of course, Dr. Carol Swain is a former professor and member of President Trump's 1776 Commission and one of the smartest people I know. Carol Swain, thanks so much for being here this morning. Really appreciate it. So you got these two professors. By the way, they're not just professors. Gina Harris is also a school board member, a professor at the university, and an elementary school teacher. She teaches middle school theory and practice at the Education School. Is this everywhere? And should we not be surprised that they were, open about it?
Well, the National Education Association is full of Marxists. So Marxism has seeped into the mainstream, and so in some ways it is everywhere. And I think for the rest of America, anyone who hears that conversation, that's over 45, we know how dangerous the Marxist worldview is, and it seeks to overthrow, to destroy the family and overthrow America as we know it.
I mean, that's a strong word. I've used it. You use it. The idea of Marxism being prevalent. Something like The People's History, written by Howard Zinn, is effectively the U.S. history written from the Soviet perspective. Is that what these, not just teachers are teaching, but they're teaching other teachers who then go into the classroom and proselytize that?
They absolutely are. And I think it's tragic that they have indoctrinated, first it started on the college campuses. Now it's in the K-12 schools. And I think it's more important than ever before for us to encourage people to educate themselves about Marxism. And we need to focus on, parents, teachers, grandparents, elected officials. People need to know the history of Marxism and its connection to social justice and those concepts about equity that are being pounded, into people's heads all over America. It's in our churches, it's in our corporations, as well as the K through 12 schools, private schools, Christian schools. It's everywhere, and it is destructive. It manipulates language, and it also is setting up an environment that runs counter to our civil rights laws, our equal protection protections under the Constitution. It creates hostile workplaces and learning environments.
Great point. We've got to get you on a similar topic as well, because the Biden administration is proposing a new rule through the Department of Education, a bureaucratic maneuver, but with great consequence. Here's a part of the new rule the U.S. Department of Education wants to propose on American history and civics education. It says there's growing acknowledgement of the importance of including in the teaching of and learning of our country's history, both the consequences of slavery and the significant contributions of Black Americans to our society. This acknowledgement is reflected, for example, in the New York Times landmark 1619 project. They just said it out loud, Carol. 1619 should be taught in our classroom, a proposed rule. You can still comment on it right now at regulation.gov, but it's up there, and this is what they want to push.
And we know that that is flawed, a flawed narrative about American history. It's been condemned by historians on the left and on the right. I mean, it is not the true history of America. It divides people, it's destructive, and it itself is part of critical race theory and Marxism.
Yes.
We would be subsidizing, the destruction of our nation by indoctrinating our children in falsehoods. It's a bad idea, and people need to comment before May 19th.
Yes, you can go to regulations.gov, just type in American history and civics education and make a comment. There's only 2,000 right now. Closes on May 19th. It's an action people can take right now. Dr. Carol Swain, thank you so much. for your insight.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.